Well, this is my room at the Ginger Hotel, and, well, view of a city street. This is about 10 minutes walk from where I'm staying. My goodness, it's chaotic. The traffic is really intense. Also, the heat is intense. In fact, if I could sum up this area in a word, would be intense. I'd also describe it as exhausting, actually. Mumbai is an exhausting place to be. Gosh, I'm just watching a guy crossing the road without a care in the world. And he's just walking across, completely unworried. Amazing.
For this first trip out, I decided not to go too far. But walking the crowded streets of Villapale, I discovered I was within a lengthy walking distance of Juhu Beach. More or less a straight line walk for another mile or so, crossing an enclosed iron bridge over the railway lines at Villapale station. Trains with the doors open and people holding onto handles in the opening put me in mind of when I was young in the 1960s and 70s, when London buses would have an open platform at the back. Dangerous, of course. But back then we thought nothing of it. And here today in Mumbai, when travelling by train, this is just what you do. By the time I arrived at Juhu Beach, I was having second thoughts about my choice of clothing. I needed pockets to carry my camera, wallet and water bottle, so even though I thought it might be a bit warm, I wore my tweed jacket. I might as well have worn a sign saying "Englishman on his first trip to India." And of course, the heat.
Most of all, it's actually humid. It's I think it's about 28 degrees, something like that. So it's kind of like an English summer, but it's just really sticky with it. Humidity this morning was something like 61%. I think it's now about 50 or something like that. But it's still very, very hot and sticky. If you go far enough in that direction, you get to Mumbai, where I flew from yesterday. Awesome.
I have a couple of days' work to do in the north of the city and thoroughly enjoy the sometimes hectic 40-minute taxi rides back and forth. My next day off is on Saturday, and I plan a trip from Villapale down to Churchgate in the south, a journey of about 50 minutes by train. It was a pleasant surprise to be able to buy an actual ticket from a ticket kiosk. I had wondered if I'd need to do battle with a vending machine, or worse still, an app. Not a bit of it. Just ask for a return ticket to Churchgate, and off I went. The only hesitation being, did I want to travel first or second class? I start the journey travelling Mumbai style. It was only after a couple of stops, when the carriage had emptied out a bit, that I felt secure enough to do some filming. Even so, I keep a very firm grip on the handrail.
This is Ratanlal Bugna Chowk, and this is Marine Drive, and this is South Bombay, and you can see over there all the skyscrapers of Mumbai going further north. And I'm going to take a walk up in that direction, so that's heading south, and I'm going to see if I can find my way to the Gateway of India, which is kind of like on the famous photo. I took a train down from Villapale, which was very interesting. I bought a first-class ticket, but the carriage is probably more like a third-class railway carriage from Britain in the 1960s. So kind of like plastic-covered seats, and as crowded as the Central Line in the rush hour, which meant, of course, that I was standing by the open door. It was the only place I could stand. Well, that's my excuse anyway.
The Gateway to India was built to celebrate the visit by George V and his wife Queen Mary on the 2nd of December 1911. Looking at it now, it seems a very extravagant gesture. But when you consider this was the first time in 300 years that a reigning British monarch had set foot on Indian soil, that perhaps goes some way to explain it. This was the time when the British Empire was expanding rapidly, until 12 years later, in 1923, it would be the largest empire the world had ever seen, covering a quarter of the globe and governing 460 million people. And yet, just over 24 years later, in February 1948, it would be through the gateway to India that the last British soldiers on Indian soil finally left.
I've come today to the Gateway of India, which is in South Mumbai. This strikes me as a bit like Mumbai's equivalent to Trafalgar Square, so it's very crowded, loads of people around, blistering heat. South Mumbai is interesting, whereas Villapalli, where I'm staying, strikes me as something like Coventry's Earlston or London's Kensington, but also with a beach attached. So it's very busy, it's very bustling, lots of variety. Down here it's kind of more like the south of France, so not quite so many people, although it is still very busy, and kind of lots more space, and again the traffic not quite so busy. So yeah, this is kind of a bit like Nice or somewhere like that, and with a climate to match.
Shortly after this, when I start the walk back to Churchgate Station to get a train to Villapalli, I get into a conversation with a local tour guide who asks me if I've ever seen the biggest laundry in the world, where some 10,000 people work every day. Intrigued, I agree to go with him, and our first port of call is an area known as Cullum, the centre of the fishing community. We stood on a beach with a very strong smell of fish and a view of the huts where the fishermen live. The fish I like to eat for dinner in my hotel are caught by people living here. My guide, whose name is Akash, leads me away from the main road, down narrow streets and alleyways to an area known as Dhobi Ghat. Dhobi meaning laundry.
This is where our hotel sheets get washed.
Hotel Amber Palace.
Wow, so now we know this is where the hotel laundries get them.
Akash has promised to show me the best view in Mumbai, so I follow him into the dwelling of a family with whom he is obviously friends, who live and work in Dhobi Ghat. I see a young girl of about 7 years old with a basket of laundry, and a man in his 70s doing the same job. This is clearly very much a family business.
Hard job.
Yeah, oh, it looks it.
You start work 4 a.m., 5 a.m. in the morning.
Are we going up here?
Yeah.
Okay.
You need to see the high-rise view.
Good afternoon.
I will show you the best view of Mumbai.
Okay.
Yeah, best view of the laundry.
As we walk along, Akash says to me that life in India is tough.
Oh my goodness.
High-rise view of the laundry.
Yeah.
The area, 1.5 kilometer area from this side to other.
This is Akash,
Yeah.
who has been kind enough to show me around the largest laundry in the world.
World.
And this is where all the hotel sheets and towels and so on get
Everywhere,
washed.
whole Mumbai cloth going to wash here, because this is the biggest open laundry in Mumbai.
And 10,000 people.
10,000 people working here.
Wow.
Working, living, and they're going every morning in Mumbai to the town, to the hospital, railway. They go residency everywhere, because Mumbai is a rush life, you know. Mumbai city is a rush city. People have no time to doing laundering. What they do, they give to the laundryman every morning. Like a hospital, everywhere. They're going to, like they say dhobi, then people they bring them clothes and they give them to them, and then after.
Gosh, that is amazing.
It's actually quite a humbling thought that I only have fresh white towels delivered every day to my hotel bedroom because of people working here.
Now I'm on my way back to Villapalli after a really interesting day out.
On the walk back to the hotel, the streets of Villa Parle are as busy as ever, market stalls taking up the entire width of the pavement, so that to walk down the street, you have to walk into the road. But watch out for the rickshaws, the bikes and the taxis.
Well, this is my final morning in Mumbai. I'm looking around because I'm crossing the road, seems to be clear. I'll tell you what, I'm kind of getting used to life here now, and I love it. You certainly need to keep your wits about you. I mean, this is, what time is it? It's about 10 o'clock on a Monday morning, so the traffic's as frantic as ever. You need to keep your wits about you, but the way people saunter across the road, and somehow everybody gets to the other side in one piece. And now, after a few days here, that includes me.
Okay, here we go. Let's see how we get on crossing this road. Yep, I'm gonna, oh no I'm not, no, I'm gonna wait for this motorbike. It really is taking your life into your hands, but you're actually getting used to it. Chap turning right there. Okay, see a gap. Go for it. Here we go. Hit the neck. Oh, made it to the other side in one piece. This is a good day. It's my final day in India, and I just wanted to take one last look at the sea. This is Juhu Beach, where I came on my very first day.
Once again, it's a scorching hot day. It's somewhere in the early 30s, probably about 32 degrees, something like that. Those of you who know me well will know that it's a hot day when I'm not wearing my tweed jacket.
I must go down to the seas again, to the lonely sea and the sky. And all I ask is a clear day on a sunny beach in Mumbai. With not long to go before I need to be back at my hotel for some lunch, to pack my case and head to the airport, there's just one more thing on my wish list.
This is my first ride in a Mumbai rickshaw. I'm told they're actually much safer than they look. They have a very low centre of gravity, and I'm just going about half a mile down the road back to my hotel. It's great, I love it. It's a bit like being on the dodgems at the fairground, except with considerably higher stakes.
And that marks the end of my adventures on my business trip to Mumbai. I had such a great time, and I hope that one day I'll be back.